guys to a guy, played center for the Tennessee Titans when they went to the Super Bowl. Okay, Kevin's been in the Super Bowl. He's been on a national championship college football team at Florida State. So he has played some big-time college football, big-time NFL football, guys. I'm going to introduce you tonight to Mr. Kevin Long. Okay, guys?
All right. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to come speak here. And obviously I'm going to start by thanking the Lord Jesus Christ for giving me the opportunity to be here right now. Without him, I wouldn't be standing here in front of you right now. Like Jeff said, Coach Jeff said, played in the Super Bowl. This is not a Super Bowl ring, but this is AFC Championship ring. I'm going to pass this around so y'all can look at it. But, you know, obviously the Lord blessed me to play in the NFL for 5 years, blessed me to play at Florida State for 4. We won a national championship there, lost a national championship, played in a lot of big-time games. But I wouldn't have been able to do it without my faith. You know, it's one thing, like Mark said on Tuesday night, you got to have faith, you know, because he didn't play football at your age. I didn't start when I was your age. I started when I was 11 years old, you know. But Lord sent me in that direction. You know, he blessed me with a talent, and I used it to the best of my ability. And he's blessed each one of you out here. Believe it or not, you all walked out here on your own legs. You all got 2 arms as much as I can see. You got 2 eyes. You can hear. You can listen. He's already blessed you a lot more than some people in this world. So you ought to be thankful every day when you get up. Before you go to bed, say a prayer thanking him for what he's blessed you with. You've got great coaches, you've got great practice facilities, you got parents that are involved, so you're blessed. So don't take it for granted. I didn't take it for granted. Come out here and work as hard as you can, because if you're not, you're cheating yourself and you're cheating God. He blessed you all with talents. You heard Mark on Tuesday talk about talents, right? Coach talks about talents that he's blessed each of you with. You know, but there's a story in the Bible that talks about 3 servants. The master gave them talents. Back then, talents was money. He blessed the first servant with 5 talents, the second servant with 3, and the last one with 1. And he went on a trip. When he got back from his trip, he went up to the first servant that he gave 5 talents to, and he asked him, he said, "Hey, what'd you do with your talent?" He said, "Well, you know, I went out and I invested it. I bought some land. I've run some crops." He came back and I took those 5 talents and I turned them into 10. So the king rewarded him. He said, you've accomplished great things with your talents. I'll put you in charge of many things. The second servant, same thing. What'd you do with your talents? He said, "Well, I did the same thing. I went out and I worked them. I used my talents. I turned them from 3 into 6. So he did the same thing to that servant. He blessed him with a lot more things. The last servant came up and he said, I gave you 1 talent. What'd you do with it? He said, "I got so nervous. I never had a talent. So I just hid it under a rock because I didn't want to lose it." And the king got really mad and he threw him out of town. And the moral of that story, what Jesus was trying to tell his disciples, is that if you don't use your talents, and it might not be football, it might be basketball, baseball, it might be academics, it might be the trumpet, it could be anything, but if you don't use it, you're cheating God. He wants you to use them. He blessed me with them. I didn't know what I was going to do when I was your age mostly. My mother raised me. I'm from a single family parent childhood. She brought me up. I played soccer. I played baseball, basketball, wrestling. I swam, tennis. I did it all. I didn't know which one I wanted to do, but I kept eating, and I grew into this position. And a lot of you guys right now, you come over here and you look at offensive line, you go, "Oh, God, they don't do anything to wall around in the mud." Well, offensive line is a very important position, just like quarterback, just like running back. So you might not like the position the coach puts you in, but he's putting you in there for a reason, okay? That ring that I'm passing around, believe it or not, everybody on that team practiced. Every one of those guys got up every morning, they strapped their helmets on, put their shoulder pads on, laced their cleats up, and they practiced. The number one thing they did is that every practice we started with, who knows who Mike Munchak is? Who knows who he is? What's he do now? Mike Munchak. We're just raising our hand, aren't we? Huh? He's the coach, head coach for the Titans. When I was there, he was the offensive line coach. Every practice we started, what did you think we start with? And then we just ran out there and started, you know, running touchdown plays, running plays. No, we started with technique. The little things. We worked on our stance. We worked on catching the ball. We worked on handoffs. We worked on footwork, hat placement, hands, those little things. So when you're out here today and they're putting you through the drills and you're running over dummies and you're blocking and you're lining up and you're checking your splits, it's those little things that you learned today that are going to make you a better player next year. The more you practice the little things, the better you'll be throughout your career. These coaches ain't out here wasting their time, you know, to try to get you to do something that's not going to make you successful. They've out here, they've got playbooks, they've got practice schedules, and it's all designed to make each one of you the best players you can be. Okay? So they put time and effort. It takes a lot of work to put this camp on to make you the best player. And if you don't want to practice and you don't want to listen to these guys, you're cheating yourself again, God, and the coaches. Okay? You're not using your talents to the best of your ability. And you don't have to listen to these guys. But I can promise you right now, there's thousands of kids right now, your age, out there practicing. They want to play in the NFL. They want to play for a good team like Florida State, not the Gators. They're working on the little things, okay? Thousands of them right now, United States, doing what you're doing right now. So how are you going to make yourself different today? When you get tired, are you going to quit? When the coach tells you to step with your right foot, are you going to step with your left foot? You have to listen to what they're saying. Because like I said, Bruce Matthews, Hall of Famer, every day did the same drills over and over. The stuff that you're doing right now. So when you play on the 9-10s, you'll know what you're doing. When you move up to the 11, 12-year-olds, you know what you're doing. When you go to the B team, you know what you're doing. Okay? So listen to the coaches. Work on the little things. It's not all about scoring touchdowns. This is a team. There's 11 players on the field at one time for each team. Each position has a specific part of that play. And if one thing breaks down, all 10 people fail. If I didn't make my block, Steve McNair got sacked, right? The other 10 guys could have done everything perfect, but if I don't block the nose guard, the play loses 10 yards. So every position is as important as the other ones, all right? And you got to have a backup plan. The great thing about sports is you got to have academics to play. Now I know at JP2, they're not going to let you play if you flunk. You got to keep your grades up. Like I said, when I was your age, I wanted to be Lynn Swann. I wanted to catch touchdown passes. I wanted to play my whole life in the NFL, make a ton of money, but it didn't happen. My 5th year at the Jacksonville Jaguars, a guy went the wrong way, happened to be from the Florida Gators. They don't listen. Blew my knee out, okay? And that's it. I didn't get another chance. But luckily, I carried a B average through high school. I carried a 3.0 through college, and I got a college education. So now I have a job. So I can put food on the table for the knucklehead over here. And I work hard because football doesn't last forever, okay? So you got to have your education. You got to have a backup plan. I want each one of y'all to be successful. I want every one of you to go out and do what you want to do to the best of your ability. But if you don't have your education, you don't have anything, okay? Unless you like flipping burgers. You got to have an education. But like I said, I want to thank y'all for having me out here. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully I'll get to coach y'all some this year. I'll be out here helping. If you got any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Don't give my ring to Florida Gator right here.